Welcome. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to register a household and a recipient using the case of a little boy living with his grandmother. If you're registering one of your agency's existing clients with us, it's always a good idea to first search for them in our system to make sure you're not creating a duplicate record. Let's say it's for a brand new client who's definitely not in our system yet. To register them, you'll first create a household record by clicking on the Households tab and clicking New. Before we get started, I just want to show you this income levels button here. As part of our registration process, you're going to be asked for the household's income level as a percentage of the average median income for the area, or AMI. If you don't already know their income category, you can click this income levels button to help you determine that. It opens a link to the current HUD income limits for Washington State in a new window, which you can leave open for reference as you register the households. I'm going to leave this open while I go back to my Salesforce page and click the New button to go ahead and start registering this new household. Items that have a red asterisk next to them are required fields, which is most of them. If I tried to save the record without filling them in, I'd get an error message prompting me to complete the missing fields. The first thing I'll enter is the household name, which is generally the last name of the recipient's primary caregiver at this address. If you need to keep the household anonymous, you can enter numbers or other unique identifiers in the name field, as long as you keep a private list of the keys and use them consistently so that each unique household can be tracked on your end. If you have other households with the same last name, you might add a numbering system to differentiate them. The status is active by default, indicating that this household is currently being served by KidVantage. I'll enter the household zip code in the zip code lookup and select it from the search results. For income level, I need to select the household's percentage of average median income. And as you can see, once I open this registration window, I can't access that income limits link from here, which is why I opened it in a new tab before I started. So I can just click on that tab now to reference it. Let's say it's just the caregiver and her grandson in a two-person household making $40,000 a year. That would put them over the limit for the 30% of AMI, but just under the limit for the 50%. So if I go back to my Salesforce window, I can register their income level as low, which is less than 50% AMI. For housing status, let's say she's in standard subsidized housing. For primary household language, if you don't see the language listed here, you can always select unknown. The primary caregiver in this example is a grandparent or relative. Let's say her employment status is that she works full-time. Benefits received, let's say she's on Medicaid. So I would select it from the list of available benefits, and I would use the arrow button to move it over into the list of chosen benefits. Households can have any number of benefits at one time. To remove a benefit, you would just select it from the chosen fields and use the other arrow key to move it back to the list of available. Because the chosen benefits are a required field, you have to have at least one value in them. So you can't move that final benefit out. What you can do if they go off all of their benefits is to first select unknown, move it to the chosen, so you have at least one value in here, and then you can remove the final one. Whether or not the primary caregiver has a disability is optional, and it's determined by however your agency defines disability. And whether or not the primary caregiver identifies as LGBTQ is also optional. When you're finished, you want to save the record by clicking Save. And this will take you to the new household record. Here we have the Smith household and all the information that you entered here. To make changes to it, you would click the Edit button. When a recipient's address changes, you'll always want to be sure to edit the existing household record instead of creating a new one, so that it can remain linked to the correct recipients and to their past orders. Once a household record is created, it cannot be deleted by a provider. But what you can do if you're no longer providing services to a client is to edit their household record and change its status to inactive. When you deactivate a household, all the household members are automatically deactivated as well. Now that the household is registered, I can register the recipient. So from the household record, I'm going to click on the New Recipient button. And this is how I'll register the grandson. Again, if you need to keep your recipients anonymous, you can use numbers or some other unique identifier in the name fields, as long as you track them privately. I'm going to enter the recipient's first and last name, his height in inches, and his weight in pounds. If you were registering an unborn baby, you can just use baby in the name fields, but please use the height and weight of the average newborn to make sure that the products that are ordered are the correct size. And that is 19 inches and 7 pounds for a newborn. Clothing sizes are all children's sizes, except for maternity wear, and those are labeled with the MAT. Shoe sizes are C for children's size, Y for youth, and A for adult. Let's say he wears a size 8C, for 8 in children's size. Half sizes Shoe sizes are C for children's sizes, Y for youth, and A for adult. I'm going to select 8C for size 8 children's size for this recipient. If you need half sizes, you can enter that in the comment field when you place an order for shoes, and we'll try to accommodate that if we have any of those in stock. For shoe width, you can select narrow or wide, but again, we may not have those in stock, in which case it would default to medium. We're going to enter the recipient's birth month and year. For newborn babies or unborn babies, you would just enter their expected due date, and then you can always come back and edit it later. We have two different categories for gender. Gender expression is how the child chooses to present themselves and primarily affects the style of clothing that we'll give them. It prints out on the labels that volunteers use to fill the orders, and it's either male, female, or gender neutral. Gender identity is kept private and is only used in aggregate for reporting purposes. All of the demographic information are required fields. If you don't know the answers or if the client is not comfortable disclosing them, you can always select unknown. Whether or not the child And again, a disability is defined. And again, disability is determined by however your agency defines it. And when I'm done, I'll click Save. Now that we've registered our recipient and his household, we can place an order for him. In the next video, I'll be walking you through how to place an order. Thanks.